Hello, everybody. How's it going today? Hi, guys. It's now Friday the 13th. It's about 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I want to talk about Ripple because I see some opportunities coming up very shortly. We've had a fairly massive downtrend, as you guys saw. So let's take a look at the coin market cap to see where it currently stands. It's ranked right now, ranked number three, as obvious. Of course, I don't think any coin's going to take it anytime soon. I can't really see Bitcoin Cash doubling in market cap anytime soon, so we can always assume that Ripple is going to always be number three. And if you guys love these videos that I'm making, I'd really appreciate that you upvote it on Steemit. And it just takes a few moments of your time, and you guys can just head over there. It's always in the link in the bottom below there, and you guys can just quickly click on the upvote button. All the funds that you guys donate towards there, it ends up being like $3-4 per post. But of course, as you guys know, my dog is an alcoholic, and all the funds goes towards her daily alcoholic budget, which is about $10-12 that I allocate for her a day. So she gets about 15 shots a day, roughly. You can say something like that. So just help me sustain her her bad habit, because that's what actually keeps her happy. If you guys don't know, that's actually clearly a big joke. So, anyways, let's take a look at Ripple over here. We see that Ripple's 24-hour volume has been fairly substantial. It's it's reaching about $1.3 billion for the past 2 days in a row now. The daily candle is about to close in about 1 hour, so I figured this is a very good time to be updating it anyways. If you guys take a look at the coin market cap and 24-hour volume in general, over the past few months, actually not month, but yeah, almost the past month, we didn't really get any type of volume that was well above $1 billion. The last time we got over $1 billion was March the 19th over here. And then before that was about March the 5th. So we can see it trending 2 days in a row now on average, which is fairly substantial in my personal opinion. I think that anytime we reach over $1 billion on Ripple, it's a very good sign that the market is generally being interested in it again right now. So, as you guys know, the big issue with Ripple right now, why it's not being widely adopted quite yet, and why it fell to some astronomical numbers from where the downtrend began originally, where it reached a high of about $3.30. The major issue was that people were saying that it's supposed to be decentralized, right? That's the purpose of a blockchain. Excuse me. In fact, they even held their swell conference, which was unfortunately not so swell there. If you guys remember, like around October, November-ish, I think it was October 27. They held it alongside the Cybos or Swift conference there in Toronto, just to make a statement. They wanted everybody to know that, hey, there's a new player in the game right now, and we're here to stay. Their main goal is to disrupt financial institutions, right, or the financial markets, to have an easier way to transfer money at a very low and in a very fast way and a very reduced cost. And I have no doubt in my mind that Ripple will eventually get to their goals, but of course, there's still a long ways for them to go. So, aside from fundamentals, we're going to take a look at it from the perspective of day trading right now. So let's take a look at where we currently stand. If you guys take a look on the 4 hour chart right here, what you'll see is a fairly massive red candle, right? This is a huge candle. In fact, this candle right here was almost indicative that the bulls were starting to lose control, but there was one last hurrah to push it up, where Bitcoin went from about 8,000 to $8,200. So this one right here, guys, it was signaling to the market that we are at the actual peak, and there's no way it can get any higher. This candle right here that we see is called a doji candle. And whenever you see a doji candle in extremely high RSIs, we can automatically deduce that it's pretty much time for Ripple to end up correcting a little bit right now. So I'm in a small trade right now, nothing really substantial for Ripple. I'm probably gonna end up making like $100 on this trade here, which I'll gladly show you guys as well. Okay, I entered a trade around 64 cents here. I'm up about $60 already, and I'm going for a very, very short scalping position that should probably close in front of you guys as well. I'm just trying to go because I've got zero fees. Keep in mind, I actually got my volume quite high already, even though this is a brand new Bitfinex account. Actually, I don't have zero fees quite yet. I think in a few more days, I'll get back up to over the $5 million range there. That's traded by 24-hour volume. And when I actually get to that amount, I should be back close to 0% fees there. Right now, I'm at about, I think, 0.016 or something percent fees. So it's still okay for me to scalp my positions over here. I'm just right over here at 6.5, but I'm going to make it a little bit lower because I don't want these guys to end up blocking me in any way. So we're slowly moving up the ladder, and I always try to live trade in front of you guys as well, as you know, right? So the reason I entered this trade was because I saw it leveling off, and I was starting to see bullish signs of divergence on the 5-minute chart. Day traders love to use 5-minute charts, okay? So regardless of what anyone says, make sure you guys understand that if you're day trading, where the main goal of a day trader, oh, there we go. I just made $96 in front of you guys right here. Can't complain whatsoever, right? Wicked. That was a really good trade. This was about a 10-minute trade here, as you guys saw. So check that out here. I entered my position around 5:49 here. I closed my position right at 6 o'clock. So it was a 10-minute trade for $100. I will gladly take my profit right here in front of you guys. Boom, $100. So the reason I entered it was because, once again, day traders love to capitalize on very small time frames, right? We have a very different mentality than actual swing traders and different than investors entirely as well. What we try to do is make many small trades throughout the day where we focus on making sure that our gains add up throughout the day. Excuse me there. Sorry, I don't like coughing in front of you guys, and I find that kind of rude, so I don't mean to be rude there whatsoever, okay? So I entered it because notice how here we have a series of a lower price action, right? This is a lower price action in general, just we're getting lower lows over here, but what we're actually getting is a series of higher lows on the RSI. So to me, this signaled a very good opportunity to enter my trade. So I entered my trade right around here, okay? Right around there when I started to see it bullishly diverge. So the signal that did it for me was getting a series of higher lows, even though we were getting price action that was actually getting much lower. So it signaled to me, like when I actually noticed it right around here, that's where I entered it because I was starting to see it bullishly diverge, right? We're getting a series of actually a higher low now and also a higher low on the actual time frame itself over here. So anyways, I just want to give you guys a quick rundown of why I enter trades sometimes. And there's going to be many times where I enter trades in front of you guys, as you guys have seen from my many videos before. So if we look on the 4-hour candle right now, what we see is a massive bearish engulfing candle. For the people that are not familiar with what a bearish engulfing candle is just think of it as a massive red candle that's basically engulfing the previous candles over there, right? If we look on the daily chart that's simply about to close, what we see is a huge doji candle. This is a very big range, guys. We're talking about from 70 cents here all the way down to about 61 cents range. So we can easily say right now that we're reaching a fairly decent support level, but honestly, I do not think that this is going to hold, guys, okay? We're going to take a look at this from many different perspectives right now. Let's first of all take a look at it from the daily perspective, where I believe that ABC has pretty much formed already with an actual WXY correction for here. So the way that I'm seeing this right here is this is my 0 point, this is my W, this is my X, and I see a Y somewhere down over here, okay? So the way that I'm seeing this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down. I see this as my A, and I see this as my B. So we originally thought that, oh, wicked, this is actually going to be the end of the downtrend right here, right? We ended up reaching roughly almost roughly the 786 Fibonacci level, but we've clearly retraced a lot more than that right now, right? Usually 786 this particular year has been the flavor of the month, but we've clearly retraced well below that over here and over here as well. So we thought that it was going to actually start its uptrend there. At this point was February 6th. That's when Bitcoin reached its $6,000 target right here. So everybody rallied here, which was phenomenal. If you guys remember my little video there where I was really excited to buy Ripple around that range. Do you guys remember my video where I released that we had a chance for Ripple to reach 40 cents? That was a while back, right? Do you guys remember how much flack I got from the public? Well, we actually ended up reaching roughly the 40-cent range, which is kind of funny now. So when I do count this on a micro time frame, I don't want to get into too much detail on a very small time frame, but we could basically see this as the very bottom point of C, right? So we see this as a ABC with an impulse wave attempt to break out of this correction, right? Where it tries to make an impulse wave up, but it clearly failed. It failed miserably. And the reason why we say that it failed is because if we take this low point right there, we see impulse wave failures many, many ways along the way, right? Where it retraces more than 100% of the actual impulse wave. So because I'm seeing it retrace more than 100% of the impulse wave, I've got no choice but to call this a WXY correction over here. So that's probably the absolute best way to see it in my personal opinion. So let's go to a different time frame now and take a look at it from let's start off on the 4 hour. Actually, let's start off on the 15-minute time frame. So on a 15-minute time frame, guys, if you remember my 55 moving average strategy, that is where you guys should have actually entered your position. If we combine it with the 200 moving average, that would have been a great place to enter, obviously, right? Whenever you start seeing the 55 moving average fan out, I'm just going to show you guys it very quickly, okay? Just in case you guys are not familiar with my strategy over here. If you guys are not familiar with it, please check it out because it's gonna change your life, honestly, the way you trade. I've introduced it many times before to the public. It's lesson number 12. It's called Swing Trading, Advanced 55 EMA Strategy, and also lesson number 16 here, Advanced 55 EMA Strategy with timeframes and MACD. So there's a lot of lessons in here that can help you guys out, just in case you haven't seen it before. I personally believe that this package of mine, these tutorials that's designed and geared to have a very structured type of environment. A lot of places sell them for like $3,000, $5,000, guys. But I wanted to, I guess, piss a lot of people off and make this kind of tutorial package that was free. So make sure you guys are going through all of these if you would like to become self-sufficient traders. Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate you guys watching these videos of mine and I really appreciate all the love and the support. But the main goal of my channel is to teach people how to trade to become self-sufficient traders. The last thing you want to do is constantly just keep watching other people's TA, right? You want to make sure that you guys gain these skills. And once you gain these skills, you can apply it left, you can apply it right, and then eventually you'll become a great trader and you'll be able to recognize these signs yourself. And then eventually the goal is for you guys to question what I'm doing, right? If you're going to question what I'm doing, that you can also correlate it to your own technical analysis as well. And maybe we'll find confluence, maybe we'll find differences. And another big goal of mine is to train an army of baby whales who can do technical analysis. If there's enough people who are very, very talented in technical analysis, then maybe I won't need to do this technical analysis myself. Maybe I can take a step back and go to like maybe swing trading or even longer term holding instead of having to day trade so that I can eventually rely on you guys. Because that would be quite awesome, in my opinion, to get you guys to actually do the TA for me. That'd be cool. Or maybe even down the road, we can work together as well. Another really cool thing is I want you guys to become filthy rich. That's honestly the truth. I want you guys to become filthy rich and I want to hear about your stories and about your journey. And it'd be really cool to actually know that I've been a part of your journey as well. And the ultimate goal right here, okay, guys, is this to be completely truthful. Okay, please consider purchasing me a 33 feet yacht, right? Please consider. Is it foot? 33 feet yacht. That's right. If I keep getting foot and feet mixed up, it's like a dyslexia moment. So please consider purchasing me a 33 feet yacht if you've reached incredible success. All right. So the goal, as altruistic as you guys think it is, it's not really true at all. I just want to make sure that I turn a lot of people into like billionaires, so you guys will eventually reciprocate the respect back and be like, oh yeah, Philicon, he actually, helped me out quite a bit there. Here's not a 10 feet yacht or a boat, but here's like a 33 feet one. So that's going to be pretty cool when I look forward to in the future, you guys reaching awesome success there and paying it forward, right? So anyways, with the Elliott wave count, if I go to a micro time frame now, okay, I see that this is most likely the end of it right here. And I see perhaps, just perhaps, this one right here as a possible first wave, okay? Just like Bitcoin. So if this was actually the first wave, can we actually say that this right here is the third wave, right? Right? And is there a fourth wave like that going upwards? If we just break it down and take a look at this massive candle, it's not really the most inviting candle, right? By the way, guys, I could have sold mine a little bit more higher at like 50, like I don't know, at 55 or something like that, and I could have made $150, but I just took the $100 profit instead. So what we see on the daily chart, guys, is that, excuse me there. I had a little bit of a hiccup. I think I ate way too much French fries and ribs and just drank a little bit too much soda today already. So what we see is this massive doji candle that's forming. That's going to close in about 50 minutes. We tried very hard to break above the 55 EMA, but what ended up happening, guys? We just ended up getting shot down, right? This wick right here shows that we've actually made an attempt to break above the 55 EMA, but the long wick throughout the day was very embarrassing, in my personal opinion, where it just got shot down entirely. You guys have to remember something about Ripple, okay? The cool thing about Ripple is that if you are playing only 1,000 Ripple position, okay? 1,000 Ripple, for every penny that it moves, it's a $10 gain, okay? So just think about that for a second. If you play a $10,000 position, or sorry, a 10,000 Ripple position, like how you just saw me play, and I played it from 64 cents to 65 cents, right? If you even do the limit orders there, like 10,000 at 65, that's $6,500, point two of that, right? Point two of that is like $13 each way only, right? So even if you had the maximum fees where you're paying $13 each way and you market executed, right? So that's $26 for each way if it moved a penny. So at 10,000 coins, guys, think about that. 10,000 coins, if it moved a penny, you're still making $100, even though you're paying $26 in fees. So you're actually still making a good $74. That's what I really like about these lower what's the word, like not like they're high market cap, but they're very low in terms of the cost per coin, right? Because for every small movement you actually see a pretty substantial move up there. So on the daily chart, we see it reaching, according to Brown Cadence's RSI rule, what we easily see. First of all, it's actually breaching right here, okay? It's breaching easily where the RSI resistance was. Think about this, okay, guys? The last time we saw this RSI range that we've ever seen Ripple before, that high was around here. So we've actually broken out of the RSI resistance, which is a phenomenal thing. If we look on the histogram in the MACD, it's actually curving quite nicely up. But I do believe that a correction is underway, simply because if we look at the RSI, it was just simply too high. It could not sustain it. And right now, it's actually bouncing right above the 8 moving average right there. Where do I find support? I think I'm going to find support between 61 and 63 cents. That's my opinion, okay? And what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a hammer. Yes, we are seeing a hammer with 44 minutes to close, but we have to remember how these corrections work, right? We get 5 waves going upwards like this, and then we get an ABC. So I'm expecting it to perhaps start the B wave right here to get to a point before it starts its downtrend again. So maybe this RSI will slightly end up ticking like that, and they'll come down. And then we'll eventually get our final sign of bearish divergence coming down, just something like that. If we look at this RSI right here, this was also very indicative, in my opinion, that it was not possible for it to gain any new highs after here, okay? Because we couldn't simply break above right here. So on the 2-hour chart, what we're seeing is a crossover already. Crossover happened already, and keep in mind that this is a lagging indicator, right? But because it crossed over, as you guys can see, if we take a look at here and see the candlestick analysis theories, right? What we see is we see a doji type of style candle right here, and then we end up getting another type of smaller doji with inside candles at very high RSI. So if we take a look at these 2 points right here, it pretty much forms kind of like a deformed tweezer. One wick is a lot higher, the other one's lower, but because the RSI was just way too high, guys, like on the 2-hour chart, it was very indicative it was going to come down as well. And also, if you draw your lines like here, okay, you just draw your bearishly diverging lines for your RSI. Make sure you guys are always doing that. This is a more advanced way to see if it's diverging or diverging bullishly or bearishly. So right here, according to RSI, even though this was a lower price action or lower candle in general, and this one was a higher high, what we see is higher lows on the RSI. So that was very indicative that the market was starting to lose strength in general. So what we're seeing right now is a small attempt to kind of round off and break upwards, right? We see the histogram positively ticking just slightly over the past hour and a half to 2 hours there. But like I mentioned, I do expect it to make some sort of ABC correction before it comes down. So what we see on the 15-minute chart, right, is that it's well below the 55 moving average already. So in my personal opinion, I do believe it's going to correct in this particular range. Does that just make sense? Between around 61 and 62.5 cents. We take a look at the 200 moving average right over here, okay? 200 moving average is very supportive right now if we take a look at it from that perspective. And also, if I do Fibonacci, okay, let's just do Fibonacci from right around here. What we see is it's also right around the 382 fib level. And also in the 1-hour chart, what we see is, let's just say we were going to extend this right here, the 55 moving average, and we can just extrapolate some information, okay? Let's just say that this white line was reflecting the 55 EMA, right? And we're just extending it. Doesn't it make sense for it to possibly hit right around this region where this could possibly do its ABC, just kind of coming down to reach over here? So I think that it can very well likely hit around 61 to 62.5 cent range, and that's where I'll most likely end up entering a longer position for Ripple. Because assuming that Bitcoin doesn't correct, well below $7,400 ranges, I do see a lot of signs for day trading and a lot of potential as well. Okay, so that's a very, very good place for me to be entering a position. So keep in mind that I'm not pumping the market or anything, guys. I don't have that much power when it comes to these really high. Sorry for slouching so much. I'll sit up so you guys can actually see me a little bit. Sometimes I slouch a lot in my chair just to get very comfortable. Make sure you guys have a good chair. If you guys are day trading, please make sure that you guys are actually sitting up properly and you don't want back pain. I had a problem before with my back last year where I was actually just not sitting up properly, right? Despite getting like a $1,000 chair. Like the chair I'm sitting in right now is like over $1,000. It's a Global Roma 1907 chair. And just to show you guys the chair that I have, because you know what, it's really important, guys. Global Roma is honestly one of my favorite chair brands in general, and this is the one that I have right here, as you guys can see, right? The 1907 chairs. I'll just show you guys it right here behind me, right? So it's a little bit beat up right now, but I've got pretty much this one right there with a blue seat, and it's pretty comfortable. It's polypropylene. The actual cushion itself, it's got great lumbar support for the back here. This plastic part as well, it protrudes, so it gives you really good lower back support. These armrests as well is actually pneumatic. It's air controlled, and the pump itself is pneumatic as well through air controlled rather than a spring. And it's a really good chair. So I just worry about you guys. Okay, if you guys are day trading, make sure you're sitting up properly. Make sure you've got proper posture as well. Now, I don't work for them in any way or anything like that. Okay, I've got pretty much that one, but I've got a plastic back rather than mesh because I prefer it like that. This is the one I have right here, the 1907, as you guys can see from the back, right? So make sure that you guys are investing a little bit of money into stuff like this. I apologize if you guys see a plate behind me there. I was actually just munching on some food, so a little bit embarrassing on my end if you guys can actually see that. But it's okay. I'm not too embarrassed whatsoever sometimes to just kind of be myself entirely around you guys, right? We're not always going to present ourselves in the most positive light there. So other than that, guys, let's take a look at Bitcoin again. Or sorry, Ripple here, and I'm going to justify one more time why I actually see this as a support. So let's just say I ended up doing an official count, right? I see this as one count right there. Okay, I'm not going to count it from over here because I see this part of a corrective wave still. I see this down here. Okay, now I see this pretty much here. I see that there and that possibly there as the fifth wave, but that's on a very micro time frame, right? So if I counted it from there, it might even make sense for me to take my Fibonacci down over here. But regardless if I actually took it from here or this particular wave, what I still do see is that 382 is going to be the first point of support, right? Now, if I actually got into a very, very micro time frame, what I'm going to possibly see is, okay, I'm going to backtrack to what I said earlier, okay? I'm going to possibly see 1, 2, perhaps 3, 4, and then sorry, 4 and then 5, and then we might get some sort of ABC up there, right? ABC, and then most likely like 382. I should have said that at first actually would be the first point of support, but we also have to factor in that if all 5 of these waves are actually formed already, where that's 1, okay, and that's let's just say that's 2, this is 3, and this is 4 right there, and that's 5, then that would be all 5 waves that we what we would expect is another actual wave down here, okay? So, officially, we could fall back down to any of these territories down over here, right? But we're going to play it one step at a time. And I do believe that we're not going to be uptrending to something major and substantial right now. The first point of support, in my personal opinion, because all the RSIs are just a little bit too high, guys, right? It's just a little bit too high right now, and it simply needs this reset. And if you guys also notice very clearly on the 4-hour chart, okay? If you guys notice clearly on the 4-hour chart is that right here, the 55 or sorry, the 200 moving average is exactly where it's around the 61 cent range. So the first point of support, guys, I have to state very clearly, I believe that it's going to be about this 382 Fibonacci level right here, and it's also going to be on the 4-hour chart where we see the 55 sorry, the 200 moving average right over here. So that's going to be a very good point of reference just to test out. I want to make sure that I take a look at it very briefly, right, to see if this support is actually going to hold. If it holds, then you're probably going to definitely want to consider going long on it. And I'll be sure to give you guys a bunch of updates as well to see if this is going to hold. But as it stands, it almost doesn't make sense to go long right now, guys, right? If you want to go long, you got to make sure that you have a series of support candles, right? And we don't really see any type of support candles yet right now, right? Nor do we see any signs of a bullish momentum going upwards. It might tick up, maybe a cent, maybe 2 cents, but you guys want to go for the bigger plays. So I'm hoping for it to make that ABC correction just down over here, right? This could possibly be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think that I'm actually going to play the B bounce, okay, or the A bounce rather. So if this is A, just to give you guys a hyperbolic view of it, I want to catch that one right there, and then hopefully we'll get another wave coming down just like that. So anyways, the point of this video was just to give you guys a quick idea of why we reached the top here. Very obvious in my opinion as well, guys, that it was going to downtrend, okay? You guys have to make sure that you always assume my rule of parallelity, right? Make sure you guys assume that it's going to be parallel like that, okay? Something like that. This is not really the best way to see it, actually. This is kind of not really the best channel that we can get here, right? Not at all. But what we see is one touch there, right? One touch here. This is, yeah, it's not really the best at all, guys, in my opinion. But I guess after this one formed, right? After this point formed and this point formed right there, what we could have drawn was a simple line where we get this point of contact, this point of contact and these points of contact. So as soon as it broke out of this channel, you could have easily assumed as well that people were going to start shorting the market or take profit in general, right? So as you guys can see, right around these points as well, it broke below the RSI key range. So let's say we ended up drawing a line like this, right? This would have been the major RSI support range. And as you guys can see, as soon as it broke below this RSI range right here, that acted as a support, okay? Take a look at it. What happened as soon as we broke past this range? Right there. Okay, that's at 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, look at what happened right there. It also coincides with the exact same place that the channel broke out of as well. And that's where that vicious sell-off happened earlier in the day today. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the material that I'm putting out for you guys. Make sure that you're upvoting it on Steemit. If you guys absolutely love the content that I'm producing, you guys are welcome to donate to the cryptocurrency piggy bank. But guys, don't ever feel obligated to do it, okay? If you guys want to let me know I'm doing a good job, don't donate $300-400, right? Just buy myself a small little lunch or tip something into the jar when you guys want to buy me a beer or a coffee, and that alone makes me more happy than anything that you can do. And that's how we just show appreciation if you guys would like to do that. And that's why I have my tip addresses below, right? It's just so you guys can buy me a lunch or a dinner or a coffee just to say thanks, but don't ever go out of your way, because trust me guys, I make more than enough from trading, all right? My income is from trading, so don't ever think for a moment that I'm here to get your money or anything like that. Although I do appreciate you guys upvoting the content on Steemit, because like I said before, I don't ever want to pay out of my own pocket to support my dog's alcoholic problem. Okay, not that alcoholism is a small problem and I'm making light of it, but my dog clearly has she's an alcoholic, right? And it just doesn't make sense for me to support her by contributing my own money to support her habit. So I would much more so appreciate it if you guys actually supported her habit instead by upvoting the content on Steemit or donating to the cryptocurrency piggy bank where you guys can use your money to support her habit. Okay, so you guys can take that however you want. You guys have all seen Luna. I hope you guys know that Luna's not really an alcoholic. Okay, she's like the sweetest dog in the world. Yeah, but don't tell anybody, guys. Okay, anyways, have yourselves a great day, and thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll keep you guys up to date with my particular targets for XRP when we actually get a little bit closer. So thanks very much for tuning in, guys, and have yourselves a great day. Bye now. Take care.